Thank you. Yes, please.
I'm Jed Billion from Cohort 6. I'm addressing my question to Professor Warnock. With your proposed bilateral agreement between US and China on managing currency, what safeguards you can suggest to prevent moral hazards arising from adverse selection?
I don't see any adverse selection in trying to incentivize more savings in the U.S. and less savings in China. So I think these are. I don't think it's an issue with what I'm proposing. Certainly, correct me if I'm wrong.
Omar, you want to add a comment to that?
I thought I'd just compliment the response of Professor Warnock. I think the Banco Central gives you a good example of, I guess, playing it smart, in this kind of markets, clearly, Dr. Laura presented, their approach, but again, I just heard anecdotally, from again people who are very sensitive to currency, and I guess these are the BPOs, and I guess some of the exporters. And really, the way these people are dealing with these types of risks is that they're not just battling the externalities, but they're dealing with this internally. So I guess the name of the game for them is cost efficiency, productivity, and so on and so forth. But that said, there is a certain level of threshold where even these production gains or productivity and efficiencies don't work out. I mean, I hear, for example, from some of these guys that, if that currency starts hitting 41, I mean, all of their efforts, fall to naught, kind of thing. So therefore, I thought that, with QE2 and the potential impact of all of these flows, I guess this Banco Central on Pilipinas played a smart move of resetting the exchange rate, from, I guess it was then hovering between 42 and 43, and by not rolling over the forwards, and I mean, they reset it back to 43. And they're so influential, they even convinced North Korea and South Korea to exchange fire at each other. That, currency went up to as high as 44, and so again, the reset button, has proved very effective. So, I mean, that's just an example. And obviously, I mean, they've done quite a few smart moves, although maybe the impact of which has not been significant, like, again, encouraging outflows by further liberalizing, the limits, from $30 million to $60 million and so on and so forth. Again, this will come into play in terms of how, I guess, people in business and how investors see their entire portfolio globally. So I guess in the context of managing all of these, I guess, investment risks or business risks, then I guess that will be the guide to the kind of risk-taking and the appetite that you will take. By obviously opening that door, then I guess that would lead to, I guess, diversification and not simply limiting yourself, and being ring-fenced, in the local market. But, having said that, clearly, I mean, you have a dollar foreign currency position, you have a peso position, then at the end of the day, I mean, the wise man will go for where there are real, I guess, portfolio advantages for them. But in so doing, by opening the door, I guess, you give way to diversification and rebalancing, again, of portfolio or investment risks.